A Chinese company just shattered every assumption about what electric vehicles can do, and American automakers have absolutely no answer. BYD, the company Americans couldn't name 5 years ago, just unveiled technology that makes every American EV look like it was designed in the Stone Age. Blade Battery 2.0 delivers over 1,000 kilometers of pure electric range. That's 625 miles on a single charge, and they're charging it in 10 minutes. Meanwhile, the BYD Seagull costs approximately $12,000 in China. $12,000 for a fully functional electric vehicle with fast charging, a rotating touchscreen, 6 airbags, and a range of up to 405 kilometers. Compare that to America's cheapest EV, the Chevrolet Equinox at $33,600, and you start to understand why Ford's CEO just admitted there's no real competition from Tesla, GM, or Ford with what we've seen from China. Before we break down exactly how BYD built batteries that charge faster than you can fill a gas tank, which specific models are destroying American cars on every metric, and why Ford is secretly talking about partnerships with the very companies they're supposed to be competing against, make sure you subscribe. We're exposing the technological gap that Detroit is desperately trying to hide. The battery breakthrough that changes everything. Let's start with the technology that just made every American EV battery obsolete. On March 5th, 2026, BYD unveiled Blade Battery 2.0 at their Disruptive Technology event. The specifications are genuinely shocking. Pure electric range, over 1,000 kilometers under CLTC conditions. That's 625 miles. On the WLTP scale used in Europe, it translates to about 900 kilometers or 559 miles. On the US EPA rating system, around 725 kilometers or 450 miles. But here's what actually matters. Even with the most conservative EPA estimate, BYD just built a battery that gives you 450 miles of real-world range. The Tesla Model S long range, 370 miles EPA. The Ford Mustang Mach-E, 312 miles. The Chevrolet Blazer EV, 320 miles. BYD isn't beating American EVs by 10%. They're beating them by 50% or more on range. And the charging speed? Ultra-fast charging in just 10 minutes. Even at freezing temperature of negative 22 degrees Fahrenheit, BYD's new LFP battery can charge from 20% to 97% in about 12 minutes. Think about what that actually means. You pull into a charging station with your BYD. 12 minutes later, less time than it takes to use the restroom and grab a coffee, you've gone from nearly empty to fully charged. That's faster than most people spend at a gas station. American EVs? The fastest charging electric SUVs on sale in the US, the Lucid Gravity and Porsche Cayenne Electric, can accept up to 400 kWh from a potent enough DC fast charger. BYD's system, 1.5 megawatts. That's 1,500 kilowatts, nearly 4 times faster than the best American EVs can handle. The first vehicle to feature this technology is the Yangwang U7, BYD's luxury flagship. It comes with a 150 kilowatt Blade Battery 2.0, delivering a claimed driving range of up to 625 miles under China's CLTC testing cycle. But BYD isn't stopping with luxury cars. The Denza Z9 GT, another BYD luxury brand vehicle, just claimed the title of the world's longest pure electric driving range vehicle, with a CLTC range of 1,036 kilometers or 644 miles on a single charge. American automakers spent the last decade telling consumers that EV range anxiety is real, that charging takes too long, that batteries are too expensive. BYD just proved all of that was a lie. The technology exists. American companies just didn't build it. The $12,000 EV that works. But the battery breakthrough is only half the story, because while BYD is building luxury flagships with 600-mile range, they're also building the BYD Seagull, and it costs less than a used Honda Civic. In China, the BYD Seagull is priced below 90,000 yuan or $12,000 USD. It's a 5-door electric hatchback with BYD's E-Platform 3.0 and a Blade LFP battery, offering a range of 305 kilometers to 405 kilometers depending on battery size, a 75 to 100 PS front-mounted electric motor, and DC fast charging capability. Upon its release, BYD received 10,000 orders for the Seagull in 24 hours. On November 29, 2023, the 200,000th Seagull rolled off the assembly line, only 7 months after its introduction. And this isn't some stripped-down golf cart. The Seagull comes with a 10.1-inch rotating touchscreen infotainment system, 4 to 6 airbags depending on model, electronic stability control, and a body made of 61% high-strength steel. When automotive journalists actually drove the Seagull, they expected it to be terrible. Instead, they found it was a perfectly dignified piece of transportation, refined and not cheap feeling at all, even at its price point. Compare that to America. The cheapest new EV you can buy in the United States is the Chevrolet Equinox EV at $33,600. The BYD Seagull costs less than 1/3 of that, for a vehicle that actually works as daily transportation. But BYD isn't just dominating the budget segment. Their middle market offerings are destroying American EVs on every metric that matters. The BYD Song Ultra EV delivers 441 miles of range for around $26,000, according to AutoHome. That's roughly half what Tesla charges for a Model Y with similar capabilities. The Song Ultra packs a 270 kW motor that generates 362 horsepower. It's equipped with a roof-mounted LiDAR system that powers BYD's God's Eye B advanced driver assistance, promising Level 3 highway and city driving automation plus automated parking. Finding those features at that price point would be like discovering AirPods Pro performance in knockoff packaging, except BYD actually delivers on the promise. And the Great Tang, BYD's new flagship SUV, it boasts a 590-mile maximum estimated range, a 1,000-volt architecture, and that same 1.5 megawatt charging power. American automakers don't have a single vehicle that comes close to matching those specifications. Not one. Why American automakers are panicking? The numbers tell the brutal truth. BYD sold 2.26 million EVs in 2025, up nearly 28% from 2024. Tesla, 1.64 million with sales falling 9%, the biggest annual drop in the company's history. But here's what should really terrify Detroit. BYD outsold Ford globally for the first time ever. According to Bloomberg, Ford had 4.4 million in sales, while BYD had 4.6 million. Ford, one of America's oldest and most iconic automakers, just got beaten by a Chinese company that was making batteries in someone's garage 30 years ago. And Ford's response? CEO Jim Farley is reportedly in talks with BYD about sourcing hybrid batteries, as well as discussions about potential joint ventures with Geely and Xiaomi. Read that again. Ford can't compete with BYD, so they're trying to partner with them. Farley has reportedly discussed these potential Chinese joint ventures with the Trump administration. Those talks centered around a potential roadmap that would result in Chinese automakers being able to build cars in America by partnering with US-based companies such as Ford via joint ventures, in which the American automakers would hold a majority controlling stake. Translation: Ford knows they can't beat BYD on technology or price, so they're trying to bring BYD's technology to America under Ford's brand name. GM and Ford have collectively written down $19.5 billion and $6 billion respectively in EV-related losses. At the 2026 Detroit Auto Show, electric vehicles were no longer the centerpiece. Instead, automakers emphasized hybrids, updated gasoline models, and incremental efficiency improvements. The message from Detroit was unmistakable. The United States is pulling back from a transition that the rest of the world is accelerating. But it's not just about better batteries or lower prices, it's about speed. Chinese companies can develop new models in as little as 14 months, according to Alex Partners. They make decisions more quickly, use virtual simulations for testing, and are willing to take risks that Western automakers might not. US automakers realize they need to become faster and more innovative. But it's just tough to translate that into revolutionary change, according to industry consultants. Detroit's big three automakers have collectively fallen from a global market share of 21.4% in 2019 to an estimated 15.7% in 2025, according to S&P Global Mobility. That compares with China's largest automakers BYD and Geely, which have grown from a less than 3% market share to an estimated 11.1%. American automakers are losing, fast, and the gap is widening every single month. Here's what makes this even more painful. BYD operates in over 100 countries, selling in 70 plus across 6 continents. In 2025, China exported 2.65 million EVs, doubling its 2024 exports, according to the China Association of Automobile Manufacturers. Americans can't buy these vehicles. The United States has a 100% tariff on Chinese-made EVs, plus bans on cars containing Chinese software or data systems. These barriers effectively ban BYD vehicles from American roads, but everywhere else in the world, people are buying BYD cars as fast as the company can make them. Australians can buy them, Europeans can buy them, Latin Americans can buy them, Canadians are about to buy them. Only Americans are locked out of the market, forced to pay $33,600 for a Chevy Equinox when the rest of the world can buy a better BYD for $12,000. Susan Helper, a professor at Case Western Reserve University, who was chief economist at the Commerce Department, put it bluntly, "It's not impossible that in 10 years we wake up and see that we actually don't have a domestic industry in the sense of something that does significant research and development. Maybe Ford and GM exist as nameplates, but the powertrains in their cars are all Chinese." That's not speculation. That's where this is heading. Ford's CEO Jim Farley said the new affordable EV platform will be a Model T moment for the company. He added, "We really see not the global automakers as a competitive set for our next generation of EVs. We see the Chinese, companies like Geely and BYD, and that's how we built our vehicle." Even Ford admits they're not competing with Tesla or GM. They're competing with China, and they're losing. BYD just built an EV that costs $12,000 and delivers 400 kilometers of range with fast charging and modern features. They unveiled battery technology that gives 625 miles of range and charges in 10 minutes. They're selling vehicles in over 100 countries. They outsold Ford globally. They overtook Tesla as the world's largest EV maker. Meanwhile, American automakers are writing down billions in losses, pulling back from EVs, begging for partnerships with the very companies destroying them, and admitting they have no competitive answer. The technological gap isn't closing, it's widening. And every month that Americans pay $33,600 for a Chevy Equinox while the rest of the world buys a $12,000 BYD Seagull, that gap gets bigger. American automakers aren't just behind, they're finished. Stay tuned.